Hi, David Odell here with OdellCompleteConcrete. This is part 2 of a 3-part series. This is the pour day. We're just pouring out the garage floor right now, and then off this same load we'll pour the porch as well. We've got some 6 mil visqueen in here, and that's going to act as my slip joint between the old concrete and the new, so we don't transfer old cracking into the new concrete. That's the idea behind it. There's the chalk line. We're running about 3.5–4 inches thick with this new pour. We also have fiber mesh in the mix, and we're running 3000 psi. And we're just hand lifting the rebar as we go. Now if I were to put dobies, standard size dobies under here, the rebar would actually be too high. And if it's too high, moisture will get in it from the surface and it will rust. And when steel rusts, it expands and it blows concrete apart. So your best bet is to lift it on a 4-inch slab, unless you get custom dobies made at 1 inch. This job is in Los Angeles. This garage floor will get a smooth trowel finish, which means we won't be dragging the broom over it after we get done troweling it. We raised the whole garage floor up 3.5 inches from the existing floor level because there was no slope to the street to begin with. So there was always a water problem going into the garage, and now there won't be. Although you'll have less clearance walking in and out of the garage by 3.5 inches, but the water will flow to the street instead of towards the garage. So that's always a plus. Here's the raised porch, and I did oil these forms with my special blend, 100% used mobile synthetic. If I'm going to pay that kind of money for oil, I get 2 uses out of it every time. We had a blowout on this top step. The stake just wasn't in very good, so we took a pry bar, pushed it in, put a spacer at the bottom, put another kicker, and that did the trick. I had to dig out the concrete. Notice how the concrete's not against that 2x8 now. That way I could push the form in real easily. And once I got the new bracing in and the new upright, held together nicely. There's the vent. You got to maintain ventilation underneath these raised houses, otherwise you could get a moisture problem. This is your 4-foot magnesium bull float with a rocker on it. All the water is going to come up on something like this since we're pouring directly on plastic. We tried to tape the GoPro, or actually Timmy and Sam tried to tape the GoPro to, you see the duct tape at the end there of the bull float. The problem with that is as soon as you twist the handle, the GoPro went upside down, so it didn't work on this particular setup. It was kind of funny though when that happened. When it went out, when it was going out, it was upright. When it came back, it was upside down. There's someone looking out the window there. That's their supervisor. So around the edge of this porch, we really have about 18 inches wide by the height of this. So it's about 18 by 16, 17 inches thickness of concrete around the whole perimeter of this porch. Now when you run the bowl float over it, you can see where you have low points. Wherever the bowl float doesn't touch, it's most likely low, or the other option is it's high on either side of the bowl float. So you have to either drag mud back with the bowl float or add some in the middle. The idea of this whole porch was going to be Spanish tile going on top of it, the 1 foot squares, to match the red tile of the roof. And I believe that will be going on, but we just don't know. That's phase 2 of multi-phase job site. Different things going on. So in the meantime, he decided that he wanted to do a sand wash to match the driveway until the Spanish tile goes on. Although we poured this out, and then we got the info after the concrete was on the ground if we could do the sand wash, rather than just a broom and then throw the Spanish tile on there. So we said, yeah, why not? We can give it a try. We don't have the retardant with us, which, usually I use top cast retardant to spray on here at like a number 3. Didn't have it, and I said, well, we'll just wash it, with water. Because we had some nice warm days. It was drying quickly, so it was no problem. We just hit it with a water hose and washed it. No retardant, and same day. And you'll see that process. I mean, if you don't have retardant, you really don't need it. Is basically the bottom line. That's a cove tool, 1/2 inch cove. And of course we have a 1/2 inch top tool that runs over the top edge and down the side about halfway. So between the two tools, the bottom cove and the top, you're basically getting the whole face of that step. So probably by the time we troweled this all out and got it nice and smooth, and then we probably waited about 45 minutes before I started rinsing with a water hose to give me a sand wash. Basically you have to wait till you can step on it without sinking into it before you can start rinsing, because on a large job you're gonna have to walk all over it to rinse it. And remember that concrete always dries from the bottom up, so you still have time to work the surface. In other words, you can walk on it without sinking in, but the surface part that you're going to rinse off could still be moist enough to rinse. So there it is. It's just waiting to get rinsed. And then I decided to start the process, and I don't use a nozzle. Nozzles will make it really irregular because of the pressure. I just let the water come out by itself. But before I did anything, I actually dragged the horsehair broom over it. I just kind of rubbed everything with the horsehair broom, and then I just started spraying water on it and let the cream run off the top. So basically I wanted to go down to about a number 3 of the retardant, which is the top cast. It's like a medium sand wash. That way with the driveway would match, because I knew the driveway I was most likely going to use the retardant because it's a larger area and all this cream would run down to the street. So I wanted to come back the next day to be able to contain it and wet vac it out and stuff like that. In this case, it all ran right into the gravel, no biggie. So there's the horsehair broom, just loosening up the surface. Pulling a little bit of that cream off. I'll just give it a little rubbing with the broom, and then the water will just clean it up. Basically, this process that I'm doing is about, it'll actually happen naturally in a time span of about 40 years. I've just sped the process up and hit it when it was still a little moist. Also, the beauty of this type of finish when you get the sand wash, especially if you've got bunions or calluses, and you can get rid of all the stuff in the house and just rub your feet on the concrete and knock them right down smooth silk. As you notice, I'm walking all over it, and it's only been about 45 minutes since I put the final trowel on it. The real question is will this match the number 3 retardant top cast on when the driveway's all said and done with a completely different system? Now I've got the mini horsehair broom out, doing a little touch-ups here and there. The garage, because it's in the shade and it was poured on plastic, is still wet. And the porch is completely finished with a sand wash. By the way, all my guys on this particular job was Sam, Timmy, my son, and my brother Douglas. That's the whole team. Now this is the next day. We're going to saw cut this garage floor. We'll just do a cut both directions in the middle. And I go about 3/4, 1 inch deep. Nice thing about a saw cut is, especially in a garage, if you're rolling things around in there, you're not going to get hung up on it. You won't even feel a saw cut. So here it is. You can see the threshold of that door, how bowed up it is. But this is the finished product next day on the porch. And it looks like it came out real evenly. I think that's going to match my number 3 top cast just fine when I hit this driveway. No saw cuts needed in that. Not with a 2x2 foot footing around the perimeter. See the fibers there? You can see the fibers sticking out. But those wear off in a short period of time. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 3 because I got some new 2-foot Milwaukee Smart Levels. And I'm going to be doing a giveaway on them. Thanks. Have a good day.